Hi there, Minety. I hope you're all well. If you're watching this now, our Kangaroo Court session has been cancelled. Our end of season dinner has also been cancelled. Hence, I'm doing this to you online via Graham Cook's YouTube channel, so I'm really appreciative of that. Before we kick off with our season review, I'm just going to give some big thank yous. First one is to Graham Cook. We appreciate you filming our games on a Saturday. A lot of people watch them. We like your match reports as well, the work you do on the website. From the one or two committee meetings I've sat in, you're really good. You know, clubs need people like you on their committees, and we're really lucky to have you. And the more years we have you at this club, the better. So we're really appreciative of your efforts. I hope you don't feel overlooked in any way, because I particularly really appreciate the work you do off field as well as filming our on field stuff. So thank you for that. Another one is Pete McAllister. I have a huge apology to say to Pete, because the amount of times I've rung him up at such short notice saying training switched from a Tuesday to a Thursday, could you come and open the bar? Very luckily and very kindly he said yes every time. So I am sorry if I caused you any hassle, Pete, but we really do appreciate it. Obviously social drinking is just what makes rugby at this level, so thank you very much for that. Another one is to Big Andy. A lot of what we've done this season we couldn't have done without him. Especially backs-wise, for the process to tick, he's been a key cog in the machine. So we're really thankful for his service this season. Another one's Andy Grayson. Thanks for stepping down to let me coach the team this year. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Thanks for introducing me to Minety. Thanks for giving me advice. Most of it was welcomed. So a lot of your advice has been invaluable, especially on what to look out for, what I should expect, the pitfalls of coaching as such. They've been really good. And you're a part-time physio as well, which is really handy. Don't think the players would be saying that, but it's good entertainment on the sideline to watch. Final one, and a big shout out to JB. JB, if you are watching this, I have enjoyed getting to know you this year, and I'm really glad I met you. You've helped me with on-field issues, you've helped me with off-field issues. You've been a real help, and you are a great servant to Minety Rugby Club. The work you do is invaluable. Every club in the country should have a JB, and not every club does, so we should never overlook the work that you do. And from myself to yourself, JB, I do thank you greatly. So thanks, I appreciate the work you've done a lot, and keep doing it, because people do enjoy having you around the club. Okay, we'll kick off the season review. So when we got to the season, I wanted to implement something that we could all relate to, that we could all try and learn, something that was new, something we could all try together, something that we could learn together. And so I came up with this system that we could try and see what happened. I looked at the skill level, because obviously I coached towards the back end of last season. I looked at the skill level and I was like, we have got potential here. We've got huge potential. But what I saw from an honest reflection is you weren't getting pushed hard enough. You were far too comfortable. You needed to get pushed. So that was one massive thing I made, and I made another massive thing of coaching above the standard of the league. Why? Because we're in this league, should we not train like we're in the league above? That was my thinking behind it, and that was what I wanted to do. Every session I wanted it to be high quality, high standard. I wanted you to learn something from every session. You come away having learned something that you didn't know before, which is hopefully something we did in most of our sessions. And likewise, our objective at the start of the season was to make you better players at the end from where we found you at the beginning. If we did that or not, I like to think we did, but I'm sure you'll let me know if we didn't. Let's crack on with the season. Really positive pre-season to start with. Great numbers at training, really good. Hot summer days, I love it. It was one of the best pre-seasons I've been involved in as a player or a coach. Really good energy, and you were hungry to learn. You kind of took to the process like a duck to water, but we had a lot of new stuff to learn, new way of attacking, new way of defending, new way of line-outs, new way of scrummaging. It was a lot to take in, and it was always going to be a challenge for a team that only trains once a week, but I thought, we got the quality here to do it, so why shouldn't we? So, went into it, first game against Fairford, it was always going to be rocky. New systems, and it was always going to be a bit of a mix and match affair. We fell on the wrong side of the score that day, but then we played the Chairman's 15. Really good game of rugby, and I think that's one of the best games we've played, because they were no slouches. They were a really good team, and we did well. Draw in the end, I believe that game was. So that was much more encouraging. We were starting to get bits and parts of the game that was really good. So first game of the season away to Trowbridge on a hot day. I was told they were the bogey team coming into this season. Yeah, it was going to be tough. It was always going to be tough. A great win. Duncan Simpson making 3 or 4 match-winning tackles. Absolutely insane work, right? He looked like a zombie after the game, as did most of you. So, really good shift. And that brought, a bit of trust then was in, because the game plan at times when it was implemented well, worked, which was good to see. There was still a lot to learn. And then it kind of hit rocky road after that. Marlborough at home. First time that we hadn't had people who had been at training all season on a Saturday. Probably about 60% of the squad I would like to have put out was there. We lost the game. Massive kick in the teeth. And we lost to Warminster and Melksham. 2 really close games, both away. We lost to them. The fact that it was a close scoreline says one thing, but the fact that we came away from the game thinking that we should have won it, that was a mindset change there. That's when I thought, okay, we've got the mindset. We need to keep it there. We need to keep the expectation that we should win every weekend. Mix and match from there. I think one thing that hampered us a bit was the commitment levels. The numbers at training such weren't as good as pre-season, so it took us longer to learn stuff in the process, because we by no means learned everything we had to learn come the end of pre-season. So it kind of delayed our progress, and we kind of only really felt comfortable with this game plan after Christmas. Before Christmas, it was very rocky. When it didn't go well, we didn't really have answers. So we had some poor results. Again, really close games that we just fell on the wrong side of. Had we have had maybe better numbers or trained that extra once or twice, we would have won on the day, but it is what it is. One game that really stands out is that quarter-final at Chippenham against Warminster under Friday Night Lights. It was just amazing to see the majority of the team that had been at training at the game. Everything clicked. Warminster, 100% in their body language, thought they were going to walk over us, and we just said, no, this is how minety play. This is how we've been training to play, and it's great to see our hard work paying off. But I knew we had to keep that up, and the challenge was maintaining that. So after Christmas, difficult result on the final against Dorchester. We'll let bygones be bygones with that. There are players in that team that really shouldn't be playing rugby, but let's let that one lie. It is what it is. So then league form, we had to adjust it because it wasn't looking good. That Bassett game was huge. I think my head was on a chopping block there from the chairman, vice chairman at that point. I definitely felt the heat, so it was definitely a turbulent time in my head. I tried to keep it as calm as possible on the outside, but on the inside I was panicking a little bit. So we get to that huge win. They're second in the table. Beaten in however many games, and we just put a stop to it there and then. We played great process, great game plan. We made great decisions. And, that was good to see. Then to beat Melksham, who then had taken second place off Bassett the following weekend, 17-0 down after 10 minutes, to then come and win that game. The way we adapted as well, our set piece was non-existent. The way we adapted to that was huge, and that was really encouraging to see. And then, fast forward to the end of the season through in the final game. I mean, we just looked dangerous. We looked like we could score from anywhere on the pitch. We defended well, bravely, valiant at times. But our attacking play was insane. Some beautiful rugby, and it was great to watch. We had a good crowd and a great social afterwards. And sad that I had to be the last game of the season, because I felt with 4 games left of the season, we would have and should have won all 4. But hey, half dozen won 6 of the others, so it is what it is. But what a way to finish the season, and great social afterwards as well. Obviously, it hasn't all been peaches and roses, guys. There have been things we could do better. One such is player commitment. So we have an availability chat. It's very simple. Yes, if you can make training. Yes, if you can make game day. I have no issue if you can't make training. I totally get it. We're not paying you to be here. But I think one thing is when people say yes, they can make training and then not turn up without letting us know, it's quite a big kick in the teeth, because there have been times when we believe we set up really good high standard sessions for you all, and then 5 or 6 players don't rock up and it chucks a spanner in the works. it's not ideal. I don't think it's something that we should just say, oh, it's a minety thing, because that's controllable. That is something that we can most definitely change. It's just communication, guys. Let us know, because it is demoralising as coaches when you put in work, you thought hard about how we're going to get better this week, and then you don't have the numbers, so you have to scrap what is a really good session. But again, that's a work on. Another thing is just maintaining our social aspect after games. There have been times this season when social hasn't been that great. All down to a number of reasons, but I think we are a social club. We play rugby because we enjoy playing with our mates. There will always be a place for that in the game, but we need to make sure we really encourage good socials after games. Really makes it, and it's a tradition that's fading a bit in rugby, and I think we owe it to ourselves to keep that alive. Really good. It's really something we're good for at Minety. And yeah, that's basically it. That's the season overview. A mix and match season. A real education process, hopefully for both players and coaches alike. I'll come on now to most improved. Now, there are many contenders for this. Where to start, really? I think Dave Cook's one. He's one who I wouldn't associate as being a leader at the start of the season. He's really grown into that role of being a leader, and his defensive work, dare I say, has actually come along a bit better. I say his banter still needs some work. I still rather have Graham's banter than his banter, but we're not all perfect, Dave, so don't worry. Scotty, I think your line out now has come a long way. Your line out knowledge, how you should operate in a line out, I think it's come a long way. I think you've really grown into that, and it's a shame, what happened at that final, because I think you could have developed even further and become an even better player. It's sad it ended the way it did, but hey ho. Runner up is Dell. Someone who I probably wanted to kill more than any other player this season, but at times I've loved him because sometimes he pulls off some pretty amazing pieces of skill. At the start of the season, I wasn't so sure, but you saw the season for what it was, Dale, and you really fitted into our process, our game plan. You really adapted well. You found your spot, and I think now definitely, it's clear your love for the club. It's just about making sure you carry on getting to training, and you'll definitely be in that first, week in, week out, because you come a long way. I think both your skill level and your decision making, finally we got there with your decision making. You've done really well, and you've slotted in nicely to the team. You've been a great addition, so well done, Dale. Thank you. But this most improved player of the season, we didn't know if he was a forward or back at the start of the season, to be honest. We had no clue where he would fit in. I wasn't sure. I definitely didn't see him as a starter at the start of the season, that is without a doubt. I didn't know where I was going to fit him in. Due to injuries more than anything, he ended up in the backs a fair bit. And he was getting better and better. And I think he was responding quite well to the training that we were doing. And I at the end, I just saw him now. I would not think about putting a team out there without him. His running lines are good. Things he can get better at still are his catch and pass. His attitude when things aren't quite going so well, how that has an effect on the team, part that thought, next job. That's the sort of mentality you could definitely adopt and get better at. But you've been a great asset, and now I wouldn't think about putting out a team sheet without your name on it. So you've done really well. You fought your way in, and you've got a nailed on spot in that team week in, week out. So my most improved player is Chris Rule. Chris, thank you. Some of the stuff you say off field I can't say on camera here. Yeah, an anomaly. But hey, you are a great player and a great asset to Minety, so thank you. This brings me on to coach's player. And the criteria for this is quite simple. If I look to my right, I look to my left, who would I want standing there? And, the majority of players at Minety I would have there, unquestioned. But these couple of people stood out for me. I think Mark Glue, one thing at Minety, especially at this level, is that you have to have more than one position. You've been really flexible. You've been a great leader. You made better decisions. Your decision making is one thing that's got a lot better as the season's gone on. Your understanding of the process is good. Jay, another one. Great defensive shift. Again, I know you hate playing hooker, but if there's a vacancy there and someone needs to go front row, put your hand up. You're good at it. And, sometimes it is taking that hit for the team. You'll get your opportunities at flanker, but you're a great player, great defensive shift, great breakdown operator, really good stuff. And your decision making, again, has got better. And your understanding of the process and that learning has really come through. Wally, always a consistent performer, week in, week out, really good. Someone that everyone in the team respects, someone that everyone relies on. You're a really handy player, consistent week in, week out performer. Gez and Sam, I want to include you in the same bracket. One, because Sam, you are the fattest scrum half in the league. And Gez, you are the best fly half that doesn't want to play fly half in the league. I think back to Warminster quarter-final at Chippenham, Friday Night Lights. In our weekends off, I've gone and watched National League rugby, rugby of a higher level, so I can see what we can learn and bring back to minety. I haven't seen a half-back combination work better that night than any of the games I've been to see or any other game. Literally, your decision making was on point. The way you handled the ball was on point. Your decision making was on point. Everything clicked, and you just fell. The rhythm, your decision making was unbelievable, and it was great to see. Absolutely great to see. And I thought, Sam, your service at 9 was impeccable. Gez, decision making in your defensive shift was great. It was just great. It was probably the best performance I've seen, particularly you guys have. Unbelievable. Really, really good to see. A performance of which very few have rivaled in this team. So well done. My runner-up for coach's player is someone who, great defensive operator, great breakdown operator, and great in the air. He's an all-round great flanker who's really grown into a leadership role as well this year. He's starting to drive the process, and don't go quiet. Keep driving it. Keep chucking your voice in there. Keep lifting the players during the game, okay? Because it is infectious, and that's Kieran T. So well done, Kieran. Really good shift this year, and it's been a pleasure to coach you. But this season's coach's player, it goes to someone who I think we look at the team. One player just we could not do without. He likes to play down a lot the fact how good he is, but he is a very, very talented rugby player. He's more than happy at the level he is at the moment, which is absolutely fine. There's no problem. But when he hasn't been available on weekends, I've been like, God, how are we going to fill his spot? How are we going to do it? He's infectious in the team. He demands high standards. And the best thing about him is that he says stuff that us as coaches are thinking. And it sounds so much better coming from a player, a teammate, than a coach. It just does. He's a true leader, a true minety man through and through. We're very lucky to have him at minety, and hopefully he will be playing for many more years to come. And also one final note, I've enjoyed getting to know as a player on the pitch, but I've probably enjoyed more getting to know him as a mate off the pitch, which is a real credit to himself. So my coach's player is Duncan Simpson. So well done, Dunk. Have a pint on us. Sit tight. And keep doing what you're doing and keep learning, because you are a really good high quality player. I've got 2 more thank yous to give. One I forgot to give at the start, and one this is where I was actually meant to give it. One is Lou, our physio, smiling always. There's been many a time when I've stormed into the clubhouse where I just a wretched look on my face. She's always there smiling, makes us forget about our problems. Our injury rate has been much higher this season. Don't know what that says about you, Lou. Whether I'll let that one rest with you. whatever the reason might be that we have more people on your massage table than any other season I've been involved in, who knows? But you've been a real asset to minety. We've all enjoyed having you around, and you've become a real minety girl through and through. And hopefully we'll see you down the club again at some point. So thank you, Lou. The other one is Wally, our captain. He is truly great on the pitch, but he's even better off the pitch. He's helped me out with a lot of on-field and off-field problems. He's given me employment. It is safe to say I'll never, ever work in a sprout farm again. It's hell. It's just something I would never do again. But Wally, thank you for giving me that opportunity. And I didn't actually enjoy the week after I finished it. I absolutely hated it when I was doing it. You probably dread a text or a phone call from me on a Friday or Thursday night saying, what's the crap, what's happening? But I appreciate you being patient. You're calming. You're very, very calm. You don't feel stress, which I like, because I feel stress a lot. Which I guess would maybe probably cancel each other out a little bit there. But really enjoyed having you around. You've been a great help to me this season. I definitely wouldn't have been able to do without you. So I thank you greatly for putting up with me, being patient with me. There's probably times this season when you could have lost faith in me completely. I wouldn't have blamed you. But thanks for sticking by me. Thanks for trusting what we were trying to do. And yeah, thank you, Wally, indeed. And that brings me on now. For those that don't know, I am off to Bournemouth Rugby Club next year to do some coaching down there. I'll be moving down there as well. I've thoroughly enjoyed this season. Really, really enjoyed it. I can't say I've enjoyed it all the time. There have been times when I wanted to rip my hair out, go home, cry into a bucket of Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Just, there have been those days. But then there's been other days where I think, Christ, this is why why rugby must always come first. Why rugby is just, this is why we do it. There's been those feelings, those days, and that's the feeling. That's an infectious feeling. That's why we coach, why we play, why we ref, because those are the feelings you're after. Just those 10 minutes of elation, 10 seconds of elation. Just like, yes, what we've been practicing is words. It's all come off. And those are the moments you strive for, and that's why it keeps us coming back each week. For me, it does anyway. But I thank you, Minety. You've given me a proper education in my first year. You've been great to me. You've been very understanding. You've been patient with me at times. I hope none of my rants have affected you too deeply. Just be safe in the knowledge that if I didn't think you could do it, I wouldn't shout at you. So, thanks a lot, Minety. Enjoy your summer. I'm sure we'll be. I'll see you before I go down to Bournemouth. I'll see you for a pint in the Rattlebone or smoking dog or something. Wally's paying, I heard though, so nice and good, isn't it? But yeah, thank you, Minety. Really enjoyed it, and yeah, have a great summer. Good luck next season, and I'll definitely be up again. Thank you, Minety. Thanks a lot.